Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Atlanta Thrashers franchise mode here in NHL 21. And as you can see so far, our team has been pretty good to start the 2029-30 season. We're 17-14-4-1, which has us out in a playoff spot at the moment, but it's probably because our division is super strong. But there's still only like 6 points separating us in first place in our division, and we do have some a game in hand at least on the cap, so we can jump up definitely in terms of the standings as long as we win some games. Now we got to watch out also though for the Penguins and Devils, who are a little bit just behind us, so it's a very tight division. And also our top line has been producing on a very good level so far this season. It's mainly been like the depth scoring that is, I think, made this team not simulate as well right now. I think it could improve, obviously, if we make the right decisions and stuff like that. So hopefully that improves down the stretch, and hopefully this team ends up finishing in the playoff spot. We should be able to, considering we've made the playoffs now for like 4 straight seasons, I think it is. Now, we haven't made it as far as we did like 2 years ago, but we are still trending in the right direction, I believe, with this franchise. Now, the only thing that's kind of questionable is some of our players are badly minus, I think it was. Yeah, it was mainly on this like third line. Henricius is a -10, and then Bork's like a -6. Houghton was a -8, so I decided to change him and Houghton and Kuznetsov around to see if that helps out with that defensive play. And yeah, we're going to have to also address probably our top 6 pairing of Conley and Brody, because they have been pretty badly minus. The second pairing has been phenomenal, and the top pairing has been solid enough. So I think what we got to probably do is we have to scratch Brody, unfortunately, and we probably will have to trade away Murray Blugis, and then we could call up somebody like Isaiah Edmonds to play in that spot. And yeah, that's probably what we're going to have to do, unfortunately, just because Brody has been always a minus defenseman, I think, for the most part, and Blugis has been literally sitting on the bench for like the last 2 seasons, so it makes sense for us to trade him away, I think. Even though he's been pretty good defensively, he just does not fit our team that well. Like, he fits the top pairing, but after that, there's like nowhere we could throw him in. So I think we're going to be trading away Blugis, see if we could find a trade for him. And yeah, we do have one comment to go over before we maybe make a trade with Blugis. So it's from HawksFan88. He says, "I think the team will start better if you improve your pairings chemistry. Those minuses really hurt the team's defensive plays." So he's talking about the exact same pairing as I was just referring to. The rest of the chemistry seems to be pretty fine for the most part. It's just this one pairing that really needs to be improved. Now, yeah, there's also the -3 on the second power play unit we could always change around, so I could take... Is Malkin good on there? No, he's not. I could take Malkin off, see if somebody else like Bork is good. Okay, there you go. That's good. We'll move Connolly. That doesn't really do anything. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. I think that's good on its own. This also needs technically addressing, but I mean, I think yeah, all these guys are still plus on this top one, so it's fine. Yep, the rest of the penalty kill is good. So we just need to make sure that we're better defensively on 5-on-5. So we are going to try and trade away Blugis, and then we'll have to scratch Brody, unfortunately, and we'll probably call up like Isaiah Edmonds, or we could try and call up like Gugnaut and see if they fit better on our defensive pairings. So let's just go find trade, because I honestly didn't look at any trades ahead of time to see what we could potentially get for somebody like Blugis, but we are going to do that now. So yeah, Blugis' values dropped off a lot as well, so he's only got 1 year left on his contract, so it makes sense. Nobody wants him according to this, so we're actually gonna have to find a trade ourselves, which means this episode might be a little bit long, because I should have probably pre-scouted some trades out. I'm surprised nobody wants to throw me an offer for Blugis. It makes sense getting rid of Blugis anyways, because we got an abundance of defensemen. So who wants him? Boston wants him. Boston, what do you want to give to us for him? We'll just take a draft pick if you want. Like, we'll take your 4th rounder from the Kings for next year. That'll be over 45 skaters. Buffalo. We will take your 4th for this year. That might get done. It might be a bit too much value, so Blue just might be worth like a 5th round pick. But we'll try a 4th. That's rejected. Let's try a 5th. I'm fine with just getting back any pick, to be honest. 5th round pick. Rejected still as well. Wow. Yeah, so it looks like we're just letting Blue just go for free, which pretty much would have been the same thing if he would have hit free agency anyways, so it's not the end of the world, but for a 6th round pick, they still reject it. I don't know why they're rejecting it. 7th round pick. If you don't give me a 7th round pick for Blue Jays, I honestly don't know what the heck you're... What? You're not even in the right city, let alone ballpark. What? Come on, this is a friggin' 80 overall defenseman that plays good. Like, why don't you want to give up a 7th round pick for him? It's like I'm giving you a free player. Let's try again with a 5th round pick in Calgary. See if I could get this to go through. They reject that. If nobody wants to take him for a 7th round pick, I don't even understand why. 7th round pick. Come on, you gotta accept this, Calgary. Wow. I mean, I could retain salary because we don't have a max cap anyways. No, I can't retain salary in this type of franchise mode. There's like no way I'm gonna be able to get rid of Blue Jays if no teams want to give up a 7th rounder for him. Like, this does not make any sense. 7th rounder from the Blue Jackets. Come on. What if I add in a pick? I'm gonna add in my own 7th, and that should easily get it done. They still reject it? Are you kidding me? You're getting a free defenseman, and you just basically keep a 7th round pick. I'm really mind boggled by the AI right now. I don't understand it. Let's try Detroit. Somebody will accept. They have to. Yeah, come on. Detroit's definitely going to accept this. Nope. They still don't. Why don't you want to accept it? I don't know if it's because of the contract space limit or what. 7th rounder from the Oilers. Why does nobody want to accept it? Try to make it a fair value. You're literally getting a 7th for a 7th, then you're getting an extra player. Well, I might have to give up a 6th rounder to get a 7th, which is really ridiculous, but whatever it takes to get rid of Blue Jays, to be honest. Let's try this. Edmonton, you're still not going to accept a 6th round pick. Oh my god. This game is broken. This game is literally broken. Okay guys, so I realized that this part of the video, for some reason it froze again, even though I did clean up my PC and stuff like that. I have no idea what's going wrong. It's probably my Elgato, so I might have to, I don't know, see if there's a problem with it. So anyways, what happened after this point, I basically tried to trade away Blue Jays so many times. I think it was, yeah, I tried to trade Blue Jays away a lot, and no team was willing to even give up a 7th rounder for Blue Jays, which is ridiculous. So we weren't able to actually turn him away, so I had to actually send him down to the AHL where he currently is. If I show you guys in a second. So he had to get sent down to the AHL, or actually it's Brody, never mind, not Blue Jays. So yeah, Brody got sent down to the AHL because no teams were willing to accept him, so he's down there now. And we did call up instead Isaiah Edmonds, who's made our defensive chemistry a little bit better, so our team looks like this now going into the playoffs, because we did make the playoffs, and it was a little bit of a tight race, but we literally just barely made it. As you can see, when I'll show you guys the standings, we finished with a little bit of a weird record. We only had one more point than the Caps and the Penguins. The Penguins missed the playoffs just barely because of that. And if we also go to the entire like Eastern Conference, for example, like there was a couple teams outside of there, like Tampa Bay as well, who just barely missed. So it was a very tight race to get into the playoffs, but we just barely made it. And I'm pretty glad that we did. And let's take a quick look at our player stats and the stats from around the league. And also I'll show you guys what the Boston Bruins look like going into the playoff matchup, because for some reason of that video glitch I had. So as you can see, Bergeron had a really good season, 101 points, which just beats out his career best before that. He was a plus 25 as well. Malkin had 76 points in 79 games, so a good season from Malkin, but he was a little bit injury prone this year. As you can see in the previous seasons, he never really missed that much. And then Houghton had 50 points in 79 games. Kuznetsov 46 points. Frolov had 28 points. Was a respectable even 0 as well, so he was pretty good defensively. And then Scavello had 4 assists in 8 games, which is not too bad. Then we go to our left wingers. Kovalchuk had a pretty good season, 92 points from him, 41 goals, so pretty excited to see if he can continue that in the playoffs. Camilleri was pretty good this year. Hopefully he has a better playoffs than he did last year, because last year he only had like 1 assist. This year he had 63 points for us, so pretty happy with that. And then Jalen Kemp had a pretty good season, 59 points from for his second season, I think it was. Yeah, his second full season. So he has a pretty good career so far. He's definitely a pure passer. So if we could put him next to like a pure shooter, then we're in a good situation. That might be why Camilleri had a lot of goals. So, and then Henrichus had 31 points, 17 goals. Ivanov had 17 goals in his first season and 28 points. And then Likachev, 23 points. He's probably not going to be coming back this offseason, I would assume, just because we could probably replace him with a younger guy like Wolski, who's in the AHL at the moment. Then we go to our right wingers. Brock Bork has not been that great. He's kind of dropping off in production because he had 55 points last year, but dropped down to 38 points this year. So I don't know what the future holds for Brock Bork with this team, but maybe he stays around. And then defensively, I was really impressed with Gordon Ferguson. He had 22 points and was a plus 23 in his second season, so pretty good. Jalen Wall was pretty good as well, 15 points and a plus 11. Kondraty 15 points, minus 1. Martinez was also really solid, 13 points and a plus 17, so him and Ferguson seemed like a very good combination. And then Isaiah Edmonds had 9 points in 46 games and was a plus 4, so he definitely helped us out a little bit. Conley had 8 assists and he was a minus 6. And then Blue just only played 10 games and was only got 3 assists but was a plus 11 in that span, so pretty good. And then our goaltending was not too bad either. Carey Price was 25, 20, and 1 with a 903 save percentage and a 2.94 goals against, while Brian Elliott was 15, 11, and 2 because Carey Price suffered a little bit of an injury. I don't know if you guys would have saw it or not, but he did suffer a little bit of an injury. So Brian Elliott played pretty good while he was away from the team. And then entire league-wise, for points, Ales Hemsky led the entire NHL in points and in goals. Joe Thornton right behind him, who we're going to be taking on in the first round, so I'll get to that in a little bit. And then if we go to defensemen, the best defenseman this year was Nick Cronwall with 64 points. Brian Campbell right behind him. Brian Campbell's probably going to be the one that wins in Norris because of the plus-minus factor. And then in terms of goalies, the best goalie for wins this year was Evgeny Nabokov in Edmonton, which is kind of interesting. And his former teammate in Fleury right behind him. Best goalie for shutouts this year was J.S. Jaguar with 8 shutouts. Best save percentage by a starting goalie was J.S. Jaguar with a 917. As you can see, him and Manny Fernandez look like they have won the William M. Jennings. And best goals against average by a starter is going to be Rudolph Schroeder of the Colorado Avalanche, which is interesting. Then we go to rookie skaters. The best rookie this year was Jason Karkner of the Philadelphia Flyers. And then also up there, Fabian Simon, Cameron Acker, and a couple other random guys. So that's pretty much that. And now I'll show you guys quickly the standings recap, even though I did kind of already show you guys, but you can see that we finished just barely in the playoff spot because of how the division was. But we did finish 10th best in the entire NHL, which is pretty good. Now, our main problem wasn't our offense. We were one of the best offensive teams in the entire NHL, but it was keeping the puck out of the net, where we need to kind of address going into the playoffs. We were one of the middle, maybe a little bit below middle in terms of defensive play. Our power play percentage was one of the worst in the NHL, so that needs to kind of address itself a little bit as well, kind of like mid-table. And then if we go to our penalty kill was actually one of the best in the NHL. So despite having one of the best offensives in the league, we weren't good on the power play. Despite not being that good defensively 5-on-5, we were a good penalty kill defensive team. So a little bit weird there, but yeah, that's basically what we're looking like going into the playoffs. Now I'll show you guys quickly what the Boston Bruins look like, and I apologize about the video glitch again. I don't know why this is happening so much. Like, it's literally happening almost every time I record. So like, I'm gonna have to I don't even know what I'm gonna have to do with my Elgato. Maybe I'll have to go back to using my old Elgato, because this current one, like the HD60S, is having a lot of troubles. So it's either the HD60S or it's like maybe my motherboard in my PC, which I don't think it is, but yeah, it's pretty annoying anyways. So I'll quickly show you guys the Boston Bruins lineup, but it's not really that scary for the most part. Like, they have Don Merritt, who we could have signed as an undrafted free agent a few years ago, but I completely missed him, and I'm kind of mad that I did, because this guy is a very solid player. But yeah, him and Joe Thornton are the players we need to watch out for. Everybody else pretty much on this team is not as scary. They got Grosek, Bradley, Chiodu, Pandolfo in their top 6. So very weak players, especially on the wings. Third line wise, they got Sadikov, Franzen, and Melanson, which is not too bad. And then fourth line, Stapleton. I don't know why they're playing Stephen Weiss on the fourth line, but okay. And Matthew Lambert. So Yeah, they're really weak on the wingers. The center core is not terrible, but yeah, the wingers definitely need to improve a lot. And then in terms of defense, they're not really that strong either. They got Strome and Jilson, Mattier and Luhivara, and then Spacek and Zuzan. So we should be able to score on this defensive core. And then goalie-wise, they have Dan Cloutier and Eddie Caldwell, so not really a good backup. And in depth-wise, they have a 48 overall medium elite goalie, which is a little weird. And Wisniewski is currently out with an injury till May, so we won't be seeing any of Zane Wisniewski. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And just for a quick comparison on how they played during the regular season to us, I'll show you guys that quickly, and then that'll be it for this episode. Once again, I apologize about the glitches. If there's any suggestions on how I could fix it, let me know, because I know some of you guys do YouTube yourselves sometimes. So, but as you can see, yeah, Boston had 93 points. We had 91 points. So if we were in that division, we would have literally just made the playoffs as well. But we could have almost won the division if we would have been in Atlantic. So basically, where Boston has us beat, we have them beat in terms of offense during regular strength. They have us beat in terms of goals against during the season. And then also they have us beat in special teams on the power play by only a little bit, by like 1% pretty much. But penalty kill wise, they beat us by like 1.4%. So hopefully we could somehow outplay them in the playoffs. We should be able to, because we got the better depth, obviously. But you never know. We could always just lose because Joe Thornton is a beast, and Don Merritt. If Don Merritt gets scoring, we're definitely gonna lose too. So. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Orlando Thrashers franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to round 1 against Joe Thornton and the Boston Bruins as we look to make it back to that second round. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.